We're out for a hike today. We're in Gold Canyon, Arizona, about 30 miles east of Mesa, Arizona, and we're going to attempt to do the Hieroglyphic Trail.
We've attempted to do this trail a couple of times before. The first time we forgot it was a holiday and there was no place to park. The second time it was a little overcast and we got out here and there were very high winds. It started to rain and there's always a fear of flash flooding in this area, so we decided it wasn't really a good time to try it. So here we are, hopefully third time's a charm.
Yeah, it's only about 3 miles out and back, so it shouldn't be too much on us. It is a little bit uphill with about a 600-foot elevation gain, but it's a beautiful day, about 60 degrees Fahrenheit, so we're going to give it a go. We're just heading in now, and there's a rather large group that's heading out. It's a well-trafficked trail here, and just about 25 yards in from the gate is the sign that designates the Hieroglyphic Trail. Is going to head up to the left. So right in here I'm seeing just some beautiful plant life of the Sonoran Desert. You got a Palo Verde tree right there, some jojoba growing, looks like some buckhorn cholla along the ground there, a little bit of prickly pear cacti, and we've got ocotillo right there and some saguaros. It's just lovely scenery as usual. And it's winter time here in the desert Southwest. So what are you hoping for out of this trip?
I'm hoping I make it to the hieroglyphs, or the petroglyphs I should say.
Yeah, Hieroglyphic Trail, and we're going to see some petroglyphs. It's just absolutely stunning out, which is very good news for us, having attempted this a few times before and the weather didn't cooperate or the crowds.
So this is a parking lot. Like we said, the first time we came we couldn't find a place to park. As you can see, it's not a very big parking lot. They do have some porta potties and a large trash dumpster there, so that's nice. But people often will try to park along the road there, and you definitely don't want to do that because you will be towed. So if you get here and there's no parking, you're going to have to either come back or wait for someone to leave.
It's been a long time since I've been out this way, many years, and so Susan and I are going to have a good look at it and hopefully get some good pictures. What do you think?
Yeah, I've never been here, so I'm excited.
WD-40, anyone? Up we go. Now, as I mentioned before, this is a rather steady uphill, and I'm probably opening my mouth and drying it out for a couple of reasons. One is it's uphill, and the other is I've got a little bit of a stuffy nose, so keeping my mouth open a little bit more than I should, and it's drying out rapidly, so I've been drinking a lot of water, or at least enough. And that brings me to a important point that I try to bring up on all of my hikes, to at least myself, is to stay adequately hydrated. It's just so important, even in the winter. And it doesn't matter if you're in the desert Southwest or wherever. It's kind of a misnomer, you know, if you're hiking in the snow, snowshoeing or something like that, around all that cold wet, that you don't need to be hydrated as much. But it's not true. People climb Everest and get heat stroke and heat exhaustion at minus freezing temperatures, and so sub-freezing. And I just try to rest every once in a while and get some water in me. And Susan does the same. She's got her water with her. We carry extra in our pack, and we always have extra in the vehicle when we're done. We have some good water to come back to, and we also have a means of getting water where it's available along the way. A purifier with us. It reminds me of a story. When I was out in this area as a teenager with a friend of mine, and it was probably either summer or close to it. I mean, it was over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm just not going to do that ever again if I can help it. It's just not, it's not smart, especially at this point in my life. But anyway, we were kids and that's what we did. And we would carry gallon milk jugs full of water, and I would somewhat ration. I don't believe in rationing water. Of course, you can die that way with a tank of water with you. But I was just making sure that I wasn't, you know, bloating on it, and that I was getting adequate hydration along the way. My friend, however, he was a little bit bigger than I, and he consumed all his the first day. When we got to camp, he was looking hard at my water, and I told him, said, now we had a talk before we came that, you know, we had to, you know, use our own water and not drink it all and then take the other person's water. So anyway, it ended up where he ran out, so I gave him a map and pointed him to the direction, and a few hours later he came back with some mosquito larvae infested yellowish green water, and he had that to drink throughout the night. It's just a good thing that we had that available. Of course, I would have shared mine with him if it got to that point, but I was trying to hold out. So how was it taking children up the trail there?
It was fun. They did great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So it's okay for the little ones?
Yeah, I think so.
Did you have fun? Good. That's awesome. How about you guys? You have a good time?
We had a good time. Did you like the hike, buddy?
Yeah.
What'd you see up there?
We just went in a little cave.
Ooh, a cave.
What,
Yeah.
Did you see any animals?
Yeah, I saw a little bug on one. Yeah, the chipmunks and that little black bug.
Wow.
On the rocks.
Oh, that's awesome.
Very
Thanks.
nice.
Well, take care, guys.
See ya.
Thank you. We're just steady getting uphill still. I think we've probably come, what do you think, about a mile so far?
I hope so. It seems like it's been a long time.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a little bit of leveling out on the trail, but mostly it's pretty much all uphill. It's not very steep, but definitely a lot of loose rocks to watch out for. Very enjoyable.
Okay.
Hi, can I say hello?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hi there, how are you?
He's pretty worn out.
Are
but
you
he's-
tired? Was that a hard hike? Yeah. Ours is getting a little too old for these kind of
Aw,
hikes. So
He had a lot of fun up there.
I miss him. That's awesome.
Aw,
Have a great day.
How you doing on water?
Doing good. It's taking longer than I thought.
Yeah, well, it's uphill. It's not like it's a flat stroll.
Really need to work on my cardio.
Oh well, you're doing great. Just up this boulder mountain. You're almost here, at least to the overlook of them.
Yeah.
Doing great. Well, we made it up to the top, and Susan's taking a little rest here. Yeah, so am I. It's nice and cool up here. It's a little shady in the canyon on this side at least, and the petroglyphs are all in those rocks over there. We're going to get a little bit closer look here. The terrain here is mostly bouldering and everything. It's not very bad, but you definitely want to take your time and be careful, watch your step. Need a hand?
I'm okay. Alright, so this trail is known as the Hieroglyphic Trail, and what we're looking at here are petroglyphs. Hieroglyphs are the actual symbols, and once they are carved into the rock, they're known as petroglyphs.
This one here looks like a mountain lion to me. And this would be the perfect place for a mountain lion. Good place to have a little bit of a snack, partial shade.
Yeah, it's really hot in the direct sun, even though it's only in the 60s. Very warm.
Mushy.
Is it?
Yeah.
Probably too.
We're seated in the shade right outside of the entrance of the little cave that's up here, right across from the bulk of the petroglyphs over there. Just as we thought could be a possibility, we've got a little bit of weather moving in on us, so we're gonna head back down 1.5 miles down to the parking lot.
we talked about in a previous video was dog waste on the trail. But what about you? What about humans? If you gotta go and you just can't wait. Well, probably the most accepted thing to do is to dig a cat hole. Now, Bernie and I always carry one of these little lightweight trowels with us, but if you don't have one, a rock, a stick, whatever you can find, you want to try to dig a hole that's at least 6 to 8 inches deep and about 4 to 6 inches wide, and be at least 200 feet away from any kind of trail or water source, campground, anything like that. And then you're just gonna do what you gotta do, cover it up, and be on your way.
Well, we made it back down to the trailhead. We really enjoyed the Hieroglyphics Trail. There was a lot of people on the trail, not as much as there would have been if we had come on a weekend. And the people ranged all the way from little kids all the way up to people in their 60s and even 70s. So it's a pretty decent trail for all ages.
Yeah, they call it a moderate trail, and I would say as far as the terrain and the elevation gain, that's pretty accurate. Although up at the end there is some boulders that you have to kind of scramble across, and if you're not really coordinated like me, that can be a little bit of slow going, but it was doable and it was really fun. So please remember to comment, share, subscribe, and click on that little notification bell.
Thanks for watching.
What are you doing?
I really gotta go.
Well, I said dig a cat hole, not a foxhole.